A healthy vegan population has never existed on Earth. According to archaeological and anthropological evidence, dolphins and other cetaceans are carnivorous, and they're at least as enlightened as us, if not more so. Many plant species are carnivorous. There's also more heavy hydrogen, more deuterium in plant food than animal food, and it's far worse with GMOs. Every diet results in the death of other creatures, and veganism results in more wasteful death than a proper omnivorous diet. Our bodies are a walking rainforest filled with microbes, parasites, etc. that are carnivorous, omnivorous, etc. Geological forces, the weather, etc. cause death and destruction as part of the natural life cycle of Earth. On average, vegans only remain so for about 7 years due to health issues. So why are you telling us that we are herbivorous in nature? I want to be able to defend what you're saying, but it contradicts everything we currently know in our sciences. I hope you can give me more context to understand, as I am a nutritionist and I want to understand. Thank you very much.
First of all, that's a misunderstanding. I have never said that humanity has to be exclusively herbivorous, ever. You are omnivores. This is the natural cycle of Earth, and different people have different expressions. I've always said, let your body consciousness tell you what it is you need, be it the idea of meat protein or plant protein, and to balance these things out as necessary for each of you. It is a misunderstanding that you think we have ever said you should only eat plants. We have said that sometimes when you raise your frequency, you may lose the urge to eat the heavier substances, but you have to allow that to happen in a natural way for you. But there are those that have certain chemical constituencies in their bodies that require meat protein. Welcome to the cycles of Earth. Yes, the idea of death and destruction are part of the natural cycles of Earth at this time. We have never encouraged you otherwise, other than to say balance yourselves according to what feels natural to you. So please understand us clearly. We are not saying that you are forced to go in one direction or the other, that it should be a natural balance of all things according to what the body consciousness is telling you you naturally need to feel like you are going to maintain your health. That's all we have ever said. Don't misunderstand us. All we have said is make sure it's the most natural, organic, and appreciated and respected sources so that you are not putting toxins into your body as best as you possibly can avoid them. That's all we have ever said.
Hi.
And are you a good day?
Hi, it's an honor to meet you. I've been looking forward to this for a very long time.
All right, it is our passion and our pleasure to interact with you as well. What would you like to discuss with us this day?
A few things. So first, I am very curious about the process of channeling, more so from your end, and more what the process is like for you. I grew up, my father is somewhat psychic-esque, we could say, and I walked in on him when I was in high school speaking in tongues as he was working on my stepmother who had an illness at the time, and it's recently just been in my mind a lot, like come back to my memory like crazy, and I am curious if there is a connection between speaking and people that are able to speak in tongues, and if there's a difference between people who are speaking in like a tongues or a different language when they're
All right.
maybe.
Yes, there are different ways of expressing this, but we will say this. What many people on your planet call speaking in tongues, or even have referred to as light language, is kind of an embryonic form of channeling without a translation into an understandable language. So in other words, it's the raw, unfiltered energy vibrations that they're bringing through that need some sort of sonic accompaniment, but that doesn't mean that their brain is translating it into an understandable language. It means that it's necessary at that point that it just be left as the tonal vibrational qualities that can act energetically to help make changes for other people to match those frequencies and change themselves. So it's kind of like a level of channeling that is left just above the idea of actually translating it into understandable language for the physical mind. It lets the physical mind get out of the way and just allows the tonal vibrations to do their work. Does that help?
Yeah, significantly. Thank you. Is there a reason that it comes in differently, like for specific people? Why one might interpret in there?
Yes, of course. Well, again, it depends upon what agreements that person has made in terms of how they wish to bring energy through that might work for them better than any other way. It has to do a lot with belief systems that people have picked up on in being a physical being on Earth, in terms of what they believe is possible for them or what they believe is necessary. It's what's relevant for them to do, perhaps, at that moment. It could change over time as well. But right now, it might be about what it is that just works for them in terms of bringing things through that can be of assistance for other people.
Understood. Okay, thank you. Um, I was in another one of your live events recently, and during the meditation, I felt a connection a vibration that I've never felt before. And I mean, I say vibration very, very, very literally.
Yes.
Didn't feel like a heartbeat. It didn't feel like anything. And actually, shortly before this live, I really enjoyed the way that you did that, and I felt I had a lot of movement during it. So I was trying to kind of put myself in that again, walk myself through it the way that you did, and I went into a state where my hands almost locked up into a position I never seen before, and I went to speak, but a lot of words almost weren't coming out as easily as they normally would.
Yes. Well, again, you're getting used to a level of acceptance and reception. And it's something you can practice doing if you wish, but at first it might be a little halting, and that's all right. You're just not used to the energy frequency.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's wonderful. So I have my next question. I've seen some of your content talking about, the life is meaningless, and
In a positive sense.
yes, in a positive sense. But I've also heard you talk about agreements that are made before,
Yes.
for these lives, and how I'm curious about purpose and things like that. If we come in, I'm assuming it's not everybody, but I'm assuming some people agree to either go through certain lessons or processes to bring them to a specific,
Yes.
version of themselves. And
Yes,
I'm curious
yes.
if that version of themselves is it supposed to manifest that way, just no matter what decision they make in life?
In some cases, yes. Well, let's put it on the most basic level. You will always be you in this life. You may do many things, but you will always do them as you. You can't help that. You have constructed the idea of your basic personality, and that is your destiny. That is your hallway. Can't get out of that until you die. But you can do it in any number of ways that are still relevant for you doing them as you. And you will do them uniquely like no one else, because you are you and you are unique. So that's a fundamental agreement. You will experience everything and many things, no matter how many times you change, you will only experience them as you changing into what versions of you are relevant for this particular experience that you chose to have. That make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Let me see. I had kind of a more specific question in terms of, I guess, manifesting or switching to another parallel reality. And I understand that it's one of the things that you've said that really has changed my life in the past, I guess, 2 months has been at every given moment, whenever it is any choice available, choosing the one that makes you the most excited, the most passionate, the one that's the most attractive, that makes you feel the best. And even doing that with my thoughts has been immensely helpful in just mental health and,
All right,
general will
all
to
right.
live, general will to live.
Yes, yes, yes.
So I'm curious about relocating, like in general.
Where? Where?
For me specifically, I guess I don't care as long as it's not where I currently am. If that,
Oh, all right. Where are you currently?
I'm in Vermont, and
And? Where would you rather be? Does anything pop into your mind first? Even if it's a general description of an environment?
There's two. I mean, I grew up partially in New York and then partially in New Hampshire, and I've always, since I was like 4 years old, been obsessed with upstate New York, and I've made more friends there. I've made friends there far easier than
right.
anywhere else. And
So what is it that prevents you from being there?
it's financial. And I feel like,
Financial?
yeah.
That is what prevents you from being where you prefer to be? Is there any way that you could be there without necessarily considering it from a financial perspective?
I'm
Or,
not.
or is there something you could do in that location that would provide what you need to stay there?
At this moment, that's something I'm working on.
Which means what?
Well,
What kind of service do you provide in life to people? What can you do for them that they would want?
I guess it's kind of a hard question for me to answer, but
Why? Is there
because
nothing you can do that people would enjoy?
I have some things. I guess I just doubt its ability to mean literally
Ah.
anything.
Like what?
I've gotten very, like, obviously, I said I grew up very spiritual, and I grew up into very, like, quantum jumping and learning about, like, different matrix energetics and
Yeah.
different forms of magic and all of that. And I tried college. I tried like 4 different majors. It just never ever worked. And
All right, but those
recently-
things don't necessarily have anything to do with what it is you have to give as a gift. What would you
Exactly.
like to be doing? If you could do anything, what would you wish could support you?
Okay. I want to learn what this is. I want to learn more about everything. I guess I'm very into metaphysics and astrology, and
All right.
I want to learn more about. I guess I really have been focused on taking control back and not letting all of these things that people said and did to me that I for some reason chose to believe and let it affect me, and trying to like release all of those so that
All right. But in the meantime, what can you give to other people that they would enjoy receiving from you?
I mean, I guess in that way it would just be making content, I assume, about like I'm very into astrology, and I've been I've been thinking about making videos and going on TikTok or
You've
something.
been thinking about it, but why not do it?
I'm horrified. And I don't want to be.
You're horrified?
Yeah, I have a fear of
Yes.
being perceived, I guess, in just a very basic sense. Like
So you are being selfish.
Mhm.
Do you understand why I'm saying it that way?
Yeah.
If you have a gift to give and you are not giving it, you're depriving someone of getting it who's waiting to receive it because you're horrified.
Yeah.
Do you understand that if you have a gift to give, there is someone waiting to receive it? Otherwise, you wouldn't be excited about having it and giving it. That's how it works. As we say, there's no such thing as a one-sided coin. If you have the head, the tail has to be there or there isn't a coin. So if you're excited about doing something, there must be. That's your clue that there's someone waiting to receive it. And by not giving it, you're depriving them. You're making them wait. They're looking for something and you're holding it back from them. It's not very nice.
No, it's not. Thank you. That was wonderful to hear.
Stop being so concerned about yourself and be of service to others, to give them what you have to share for those who are waiting. Yes, there'll be those who aren't waiting for it, but that's not your audience anyway. So who cares? There are those that are waiting to receive, those that are waiting to connect with you. Make the connection the best you can. You'll change, you'll improve, you'll get better, but you won't get better if you don't start because you're not going to practice. So you have to start somewhere. And if you do that, then you are giving the best you can. You are being of service the best you can. And when you are being of service the best you can, you will be served in turn. you will be supported. But if you're not willing to support others by giving them your gift, how is the universe going to reflect that support back to you by supporting you in the ability to support others? You're not starting the ball rolling. You're not starting the reflection. So nothing comes back, and you're afraid you won't be supported because you're not the one that's doing the supporting. So how can you get a reflection of support? You have to support to be supported. You have to serve to be served. Physical reality is a reflection. Unless you initiate, nothing comes back. If you don't have an image in the mirror, there's no reflection. If the lights are off, you don't see anything. Turn the lights on so you can see your reflection, so the reflection can come back to you and support you and guide you.
Thank
You're
you.
sitting in the dark.
Yeah.
Click, turn the light on. Start serving in any way you can. Use your imagination. Put it out there. Be excited about it. You'll see it will support you. And remember, there's more ways to be supported than just financially. Remember, there are different forms of abundance. Let them all work for you. Don't get stuck on one. Otherwise, you close the doors through which all the other forms of abundance could also be reflected to you.
Definitely.
So, is that enough of a kick in the pants for you?
Absolutely. That was, thank you so much. That was really, really significant. So thank you.
You're welcome. Happy to oblige because you're worth it.
Thank
And
you.
you have gifts to give. Don't deprive people of your gifts. You're here for a reason. Appreciate yourself.
Yeah. It's, yeah, you're definitely right. And from, I see where a lot of it is definitely in like my, yeah, I just decide to hold myself back because I get scared and it's very
Exactly.
obvious and silly and like, it's, yeah.
Don't deprive others of what you have to give. It's selfish.
I didn't think about it
Self-serving.
like that. So
Now you can.
yeah, thank you.
Anything else, or do you have what you need to move forward?
I think I have what I need to move forward. Thank you beyond words. This was incredible. Thank you. Thank
You are welcome beyond words. Our unconditional love to you and encouragement. Good day. Aveo.
Goodbye.